school.
Going to be stolen, I think, by the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Ray rocked the baby to sleep and slam dunk.
Stolen by Bird and the cut to DJ. Yes! Buckle up for Kobe Bryant.
New era.
Oh! A jawbreaker! Curry way downtown. Bang!
It's all basketball.
A spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
Lace 'em up. It's time for 1010XL's Open Gym. Leading the break, here's RJ Saunders.
And it is another edition of Open Gym on a weekday, filling in for the vacationing Rick Ballou, RJ Saunders, and Dylan Denmark here with you. And we are honored for you to be spending your time here with us on a Thursday. We have a great show lined up for you today, and we'd love your interaction on the program. There's a couple of ways in which you can do so, one being the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010, or on our various digital studio platforms from wherever you are watching the program, whether on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. We'll also be taking calls in the second hour of our program. So I'll start here. You know, I think there are many reasons why individuals decide to leave a place, whether it's their hometown, whether it's a different city or state altogether, or maybe even a job. You know, if you're moving from a job, maybe it's because of bad management, more pay elsewhere, change of scenery, maybe you got let go by the place, you know, whatever the case may be. But there are those who do leave and then sometimes come back for a second stint. There's many of you that maybe are on the south side or out east or near the beaches right now who this is your second stint back in Jacksonville. It may be a second stint back at a job. We also see this in professional sports, such as wrestling, where you'll go one place and then the WWE may call you back. We've seen it in the NBA with a few players over the years. We see this in the NFL. We also see this in the MLB. You get where I'm going with all this. But does it need to happen with one Jalen Ramsey and the Jacksonville Jaguars? The reason why I bring this up, there was a post on Hard Rock Bet yesterday on their Twitter account. And on the caption, it says, does a reunion with the Super Bowl champion make sense? And their idea of how this could happen is the Jaguars would give up a 2025 fourth rounder, and you would give up a seventh rounder next year. And in exchange, the Dolphins would give you Jalen Ramsey and their sixth round pick next year. Looking at it for me, I don't know if I would necessarily do that deal. To be honest with you, I don't think that the Jacksonville Jaguar brass, this new regime, is really looking to do that deal. But I do hear some of you out there. I'm listening to you through the headphones. Yes, let's bring Jalen Ramsey back. Should have never gotten traded. We need corner help. We didn't go big game hunting. There really wasn't a notable name that we got during the free agency period. Let's go get him. Again, I don't think that the Jaguars, this new regime that involves Liam Cohen, Tony Baselli, James Gladstone, those three notable names in the front office, I don't think they're trying to go down that path. Not because I don't think any one of them dislike Jalen Ramsey, but Jalen Ramsey's a different player. You sign a guy like Jalen Ramsey for a much different reason. Take the LA Rams, for instance. They had that F those picks campaign, and it worked in LA. We don't have a lot of time. We have a quarterback that's Super Bowl ready. We acquired him because we feel that this team can win a Super Bowl. We can't acquire this guy, then build with young talent and ask for the fan base or the front office or for the team at large ask for patience. We're doing what we're doing because we don't have patience. We're trying to win now. Unfortunately, to me, the Jacksonville Jaguars are not in that position. They need patience. And I think that's what they're trying to advertise when they talk to the media during their press conferences, and we hear it, whether it's on the radio or on their YouTube channel. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they have pieces, but it doesn't feel as if Gladstone and Cohen and Baselli are saying that this is a 2-3 year plan and then we're right in the thick of it. It seems like this is going to be a marathon. We're looking to do this for the long term. We're going young. We're all going to grow together. And I think that they want guys on team-friendly deals. Jalen Ramsey this season, whoever acquires him, or if he goes back to the Miami Dolphins, he's owed $24 million this year. And no doubt to me, I feel that he has a lot left in the tank. He's got a lot of football left in him, and I'm sure if you ask anybody and anyone who asks him or is in his inner circle or in his camp would tell you the same thing. But as a Jacksonville Jaguar, for those who are either on the fence of bringing him back or not, or for those who are pounding the table saying, yes, we need him back, do you want all that comes with Jalen Ramsey a second time around? And to me, I look at that, and that's why I'm saying no. Now, I get it. Pro Bowl talent. Wasn't a Pro Bowler this year, but 2 years prior, 3 years prior, a Pro Bowler. This is a guy that's still producing in moments. But with Jalen Ramsey, if you place him on the team, you are saying we're trying to win now. We feel like we have a team that can compete and win and go up against the who's who in the AFC right now. And if it doesn't work out year one with the Jalen Ramsey, this is the part that scares me if he came back to Jacksonville. Doesn't work out year one. Heck, it doesn't work out year two. Does he become frustrated again? Is he flipping over tables, pulling out urinals? All of a sudden he's arguing or sending shots through the media, going on ESPN, the Pat McAfee show, saying, I want out. It's my back again. It's my back. My back is broken. Spinal. It's the same old Jags. They haven't changed since I've left, even with the new regime. But also, I will say this. Doesn't there feel like there's a method to the madness when it comes to the Jags? There was a reason why they didn't go big game hunting or try to get that big star, not just because of the money, but they were doing it because they believe in the young guys. Remember James Gladstone? What he said? Now, I understand he was talking about defensive tackles and he was talking about tight ends, but I think he was talking about the team at large. This was James Gladstone explaining why the team didn't go big game hunting, even with the salary cap room that they had. James Gladstone, it seems to me, him, Campanile, Gladstone, and Baselli, I think that they believe in the young guys that they have. One of them was Jarian Jones. Now, Jarian Jones did do an interview with Jamal St. Cyr, and saying when he asked if he could play corner this year on the outside, it seems like he and the coaching staff are on the same page. Here's the Jaguars corner.
Last season when I was playing, all 100% nickel, I was asking them, can I go play corner? Like, that's what I play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously I play nickel, but like, bro, like, I guard people. Like, that's what I do. I play corner. Like, I guard people. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know what all went into it, but just last thing they wouldn't let me do it. So like, you know, to the coach staff letting me be able to go do that, like that's something like when I first met with Coach Camp, when I first met with Liam, like that's something I asked them, like, can I please go play corner? And they was like, well, actually, that's what we were thinking, you know. And I was like, okay, well, we all in cahoots together.
So if you get a big name like Jalen Ramsey, well, you know what? Instead of me trying to explain it, let me allow James Gladstone first to explain it, why going big game hunting or getting guys that are big in name probably isn't the move the Jaguars want to make right now. Here's James.
Yeah, we got 10 picks in this year's draft. We're going to have some spots that are actually open for them to insert. So if you add a veteran at this point, could be just standing in the way. We're going to allow these rookies to, you know, get a chance to get out on the field and help us this coming fall.
So there's guys on this roster, guys that they believe in. And for the young guys that they don't believe in on this roster, they're going to bring in young guys through the NFL draft this year that they believe in. Because as we talked about yesterday, there's a lot on the line in terms of getting it right, especially in the early rounds. And maybe that's fair. Maybe it's unfair. I'd love for you guys to let me know your thoughts. 641-1010. But Jacksonville this season has to be able to identify and select the right guys. We understand who Jalen Ramsey is. He's a fiery competitor. But can't you also find fiery competitors in the NFL draft? Doesn't it feel like Jarian Jones is a fiery competitor? If you're saying that you need a dog, we need someone who is going to tell it like it is. Could Jarian Jones fit that bill? And if you bring in a Jalen Ramsey, how many years is Jalen Ramsey going to be here? And that's now declining in the development and the progression of a guy such as Jarian Jones. You also, on the other side, have Tyson Campbell. Jalen Ramsey's not a guy yet, to me, at 30 years old, that's saying, I want to be the, hey, can you take Tyson Campbell out to lunch? Talk to him about how to be a pro? Can you talk to Jarian Jones about how to save his money? I don't think he's there yet. Do you like Trey Prince from last season? I know the pass regime was high on him. Could he be someone that you continue to develop? You have Jarian Jones on one side, Tyson Campbell on the other. You have Jordan Lewis at the nickel. Let's say you have a backup in Buster Brown, Monteric Brown. Is that a guy that you say can have that fire, show that fire? And I understand he's had his moments where you're wondering why sometimes is he on the field. But there have been moments where you're saying there is something there with him. Second stints for an individual, whether it's going back to a job or a job asking for you back, sometimes it's not the greatest thing. And for those of us who are still in love with Jalen Ramsey and his time here in Jacksonville, the question I'm asking at this point is, what are you chasing if you acquire Jalen Ramsey? Is this just an old flame thing? You just want it for the vibes? For the nostalgia? For the Jacksonville culture? Or do you really think, as a Jaguar fan, we really have a chance at going to the Super Bowl this year? And listen, I'm a diehard Lakers fan, and we are delusional sometimes. Before this whole Luka Doncic trade, I can hear people in LA right now. We taking it all this year with the roster we had constructed before the Doncic trade. We'll fall in love with the team as they come out this season, with or without Jalen Ramsey. But Jalen Ramsey's not going to be the guy that's going to take us over the hump. It'll just be a nice comeback story, at least in my opinion. I would love to hear your thoughts, 641-1010. But when we come back, I want to continue the conversation that we had about Trevor Lawrence yesterday with Cleo Lemon. I wanted to talk about just how important is it for an NFL quarterback to have stability inside an organization, and also what advice would the longtime QB have for Trevor going into this season? Let's discuss that next on Open Gym.
Jacksonville's home for Florida Gators baseball.
In an Easter weekend series, Florida and Mississippi State go head-to-head on the Hill in Starkville. Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon on 10:10 a.m.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Are you ready for some exciting football action? Your Jacksonville Sharks take on the Massachusetts Pirates Saturday, April 19th. Get family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card, all for only $100. Don't miss the unforgettable Frisbee Dogs and keep an eye out for the Easter Bunny. A fun night for the kids. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. The Jacksonville Sharks are 3-0 and ready to make it 4-0 this weekend as your Jacksonville Sharks take on the Massachusetts Pirates this Saturday. Get our family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card, all for just $100. Don't miss the unforgettable Frisbee Dogs and keep an eye out for the Easter Bunny. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. And go Sharks! Go Sharks!
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees, about $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
I'm Max Fink. Join me for the Gator Report on 1010XL as I break down the latest storylines in Gator Nation.
Put together by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators!
Interest rates have plummeted. It's time to call Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here, and if you're looking to get cash out of your home equity, refinance out of a high rate, or do a home improvement project, Loan Pronto can make it happen in a matter of just days. Take advantage of this opportunity and get tens or even hundreds of thousands out of your home equity. Pay off all your credit cards. Pay off your car loan. The average homeowner cuts their monthly bills by $1,000. Get more info at loanpronto.com. Inflation and higher costs have put a lot of people in a stressful financial situation. But if you own a home, there's a way out. Loan Pronto has multiple options that can help you get the financial freedom you deserve. Most homeowners get their cash in less than 2 weeks, and most don't even need an appraisal. Do the smart thing. Stop paying insane rates on those credit cards. Wipe them all out. Get a lower mortgage rate. Get some money for that home improvement project. Do it all by going to loanpronto.com or call 904-999-1508. That's loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Direct from Broadway, MJ, the Tony Award-winning musical, is starting something all across America.
Lift your head up high, scream out to the world. I know I am someone that's the truth about. Sing it.
Get tickets now to what the Washington Post calls a runaway hit. MJ the Musical, playing Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts, April 22nd through 27th. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
Florida heat is no joke. Is your air conditioner ready for it? At Duck Duck Air Conditioning, we've got a crazy offer just for you. We're giving away free AC inspections to our wonderful customers who now call and schedule. One of our expert techs will come look at your AC unit and make recommendations to ensure it's running at peak performance. But you must act today. A deal this good won't last forever. Call 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Air Conditioning. DuckDuckAC.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
It's heating up at Ride Now Jacksonville. Get water adventure ready with the
2024 Yamaha AR195 boat. With its supercharged engine, innovative design, and water sports features, the Yamaha AR195 is ready for anything you throw at it. Originally $46,000, now just $36,000. Oversized in-floor storage for wakeboards and extra gear, deck and hull design that maximizes space, comfort, and versatility like no other 19-foot boat. Ride now Jacksonville on Blanding Boulevard. We'll meet or beat any price on all 2024 and prior models.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Leon Cersei here. Let's be real. I used to eat like a lineman because I was one. And man, those habits are hard to break. I needed help to stop with the munchies and lose weight. But now, I'm bringing sexy back. I call Physician Guided Weight Loss. Their medical team is helping me shed pounds safely with a custom plan to help me slim down. And their firm pricing means same price every month. Hey, you want to bring sexy back? Visit Physician Guided Weight Loss at pgweightloss.com.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Get it? With the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast orthopedic specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Still efforting Cleo Lemon, who will join us on the program here shortly. Just really want to get his thoughts on what we talked about yesterday when it comes to that of Trevor Lawrence and the stability or the lack thereof that's been here since he's gotten to Jacksonville. Just how much does stability in an organization or the lack of stability affect a quarterback? And you look at a guy like Trevor Lawrence, I mean, this has probably been his first time that he's had to go through coach after coach after coach in one setting. I mean, I never followed his high school career. I don't think he had several different coaches in high school. College, only one head coach at the University of Clemson. And you strike out back-to-back times with Doug Peterson and Urban Meyer. Now you're bringing in Liam Cohen, who I'm really high on. I think everybody wins a press conference. I think Doug Peterson won his press conference when he initially got here. Urban Meyer, I don't remember the press conference in full, but I'm sure there was excitement. I'm sure someone in that building felt this could be our version of Jimmy Johnson. But Liam Cohen, it really feels to me, he's saying, listen, he's almost J.J. Redick-ish. I'm a guy who is a football just loon. I'm crazy about this game. and I understand the intricacies of it. And I speak young guy. I speak today's player. The 2024, 2025, 2026 player. The older guys, they felt the old way you could just plug it, play it, and off we go. But he's also a guy, just like Urban Meyer, he hasn't coached before. So we don't know what to expect. But right now he's saying all the right things. And Nick Mullins, I feel, is going to be a big help to Trevor Lawrence. He understands the offense in which Grant Uditsky and is going to be able to draw up. I understand there's probably going to be forms of what Grant had in Minnesota. We'll see different iterations of it, along with what Liam Cohen has cooking up himself from his time at Tampa, from his time in LA. But if we want Trevor Lawrence to be the quarterback in which we want him to be, now I'm not saying he's a generational talent anymore, but a very, very good quarterback that can take us over the hump, the Jacksonville Jaguars as an organization need to give him stability, and I really think that they are. I think we're now finally moving in the right direction. The 718 says you can't blame Trevor for Urban's failure. I'm not. Because I feel Trevor Lawrence probably walked into that when that went down with Urban and said, what in the world did I step into? What is going on? And the same thing happened with Doug. The same thing happened. I think Doug lost the locker room. I think he lost it. And no one wanted to hear him anymore. I think Doug didn't want to hear himself anymore. What's the point? I really hope things are different with Liam, but in no way am I going to say that Trevor Lawrence was the reason Urban Meyer was about Urban Meyer. This man lied in front of worldwide cameras here in Jacksonville and said, I've been studying the game, the NFL game, for what, a year, 2 years? I think I have a good grasp on it. Doesn't even know where the Cardinals play. The 652, are the Jags really that far away? We need a safety. Jalen can fill that need and extend his career and play at a high level. And maybe Jalen always felt like the one who got away. Maybe, but, listen, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe that they want to go young. They want to see what the young guys have. They had the cap room to go out and get bigger names. I mean, heck, we saw the New England Patriots get all the players in free agency, just throwing the bag at them. But does that work necessarily, just creating a team full of who's? I don't want to say it's an all-star team. I don't want to say it's a Pro Bowl team, a dream team. But throwing all that money at players and then saying you expect that to win, I don't know, year 1, year 2? Especially in a year it's very, very, very critical for not only Trevor Lawrence, but that front office. And as I said in the opening segment, I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if that's a fair thing to do to James Gladstone, who's only been in this now 1 year as a general manager. To Liam Cohen, this is his first year as a head coach. But they have to get the draft right. If they said through free agency, all they wanted to do was just raise the floor of the team and get a lot of guys, in my opinion, on team-friendly deals. We can get out of this if it doesn't work out. Can you do that with a Jalen Ramsey? If it doesn't work out, let's say he's over the hill or there's just a catastrophic injury that happens and now you're sitting on him and he's sitting on that money. Let's see what Jarian Jones can do on the outside. I mean, a lot of us saw it during his time at FSU. Let's see what he can do on the outside. Let's see who they bring in. Let's say they bring in Trey Prince. And Trey Prince is a guy that can do it. He's developed over the last year? We really want to take a step back from those two guys because we want to bring back Jalen Ramsey, who, when we write the book on how he left, did he want to be here? Was it the Jags he didn't want, or was it because he had tension with individuals inside the front office? Have a couple beers with him, he may tell you. Jalen Ramsey, however, to me, would be a guy you're saying we are looking to win now. Right now. We feel that we are a year, 2 years away. I don't think the Jaguars are a year away. Get to the playoffs this season. Whether it's a first round out or you do what you did in 2022. You get to make it past the wild card round. You lose once again, but you take a team to the brink. Year 2, there can't be a drop-off like there was this past season. There can't be a drop. We can't take a step back. Now let's say you make an AFC championship game the next year, year 2. Then that's when I feel like you could bring in a guy. Maybe. And that would be Jalen asking you. This would be us asking Jalen, can you please come back? Please? And for what? Jalen would make a great safety, but he's a locker room poison. That's the problem. Dylan remembers it as well as I do. You tell me.
That might be the greatest clip a Jaguar player's ever said.
It's time to get that money. Oh, when Jalen wants to talk, it is verbal and it is loud. Do we need that? Does this new regime need that? I'm not saying you can't talk. I'm not saying that you can't flex. I'm not saying that you can't talk your stuff. You need that on a football field. I'm not asking you to be a choir boy. But there's some things probably Jalen does that's probably distasteful, can rub people the wrong way, and not in the way in which you're saying it's needed in the locker room. This team doesn't need it right now. We need the stock to go north. Jalen Ramsey, I believe that on a team like the Baltimore Ravens, I think it works. Or another Super Bowl contender or a fringe Super Bowl contender, it works. Listen, hey, the Houston Texans tried this last year, didn't they? Signed the who's who. They have now scrapped that entire offensive line. Stephon Diggs is now in New England. C.J. Stroud, you are now hoping that he can bounce back. They're in the same position the Jaguars were in. Let's get in front of them. If they want Jalen, let them have him. They already took Cam Robinson. He does get hella love at Ruth Chris, though. When we come back, let's talk NFL draft. What do you put around Trevor? What do the Jaguars think they need to do at 5? Let's discuss that next with Eric Edholm of the NFL Media next, right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
One of the best things about being on the First Coast is standing at the center of the golf world. Yes, it is. Brunch with a Tour.
Tour news, tips, and inside info. Brought to you by
Clearwater Irrigation. 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor, outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
From Duval to the world.
All communication lines are clear.
Download the 1010XL apps for free on Apple and Android devices and listen wherever life takes you.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Do you know someone looking for a fun and rewarding summer job? Join the YMCA team, gain valuable experience, and make a difference in kids' lives. Turn your passion for this community into a fulfilling career at the First Coast YMCA. Now hiring camp counselors, lifeguards, childcare leaders, and membership experience team. Every single person on the dedicated YMCA staff plays a role in making the Y a welcoming and vital resource for our community. Find your career at the Y at fcymca.org.
Equal opportunity employer.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey man, what's that noise?
Do you hear it too? You can hear it, right?
Yeah, it's your air conditioner. It's like a grinding or a rattling.
And it's getting on your nerves, right? Like it's eating at your brain and you can't think straight, but it just keeps grinding and squeaking and taunting and nagging. You're not good enough. You're a failure. Why can't you be more like your sister, the lawyer?
Yeah, I don't hear that last part so much.
Yeah, but it's not cool, right, Jason?
It could definitely be cooler. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can totally repair whatever that noise is and get your AC working smoothly and silently. We fix these things all the time.
So I won't be a failure?
Life should be enjoyed. If some irritating, broken air conditioner is making you crazy, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Getting a pool? David Garrard here. I just did. But before they dug, I called Clearwater Irrigation, and they capped off all my sprinkler lines so the pool company could just dig away.
Then when your pool's finished, we'll install your sprinkler system back to full coverage.
And now my backyard oasis is getting watered beautifully.
And maybe then, Dave, I could take another quick dip.
Bigger swimming trunks, John. Much bigger.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Hey guys, it's that time of year again. The home team is looking for new players on the field, and you're looking to get that old car or truck out of your driveway. I can help. This is John Johnson over at First Coast Recycling. We buy junk cars. Draft us to buy your old car or truck for fast cash. Just call 904-294-1659 for a quick and easy quote from First Coast Recyclers. Come on, let's take your driveway back.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Our next guest has been doing this for a long time, knows the draft better than anyone. He is Eric Edholm of NFL Media. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Eric_Edholm. And he is so kind to give us a couple moments of his time to talk about the NFL draft. Mr. Eric, thanks so much, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. What's going on?
Doing well ourselves out here in Jacksonville. Does seem that it is a time before Christmas for us, and it also has to be for an individual such as yourself who covers the NFL draft. Just wanted to start out with this. What excites you most kind of as a writer and an analyst when it comes to the NFL draft?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like delivering the gifts or the coal, I guess, because I do, sort of criticize some picks here and there. But yeah, I mean, it's, you watch these guys for months, and you follow all their stories, and you want all of them to do well, but there's also this fascinating angle of how the teams are going to pluck them off the board, and how much trade activity there are going to be, and where the quarterbacks go, and all that stuff. And this draft is starting to heat up a little. Like I was feeling like it was a little underwhelming maybe a week or two ago, but kind of some of the quarterback news around the league with Aaron Rodgers still deciding what he wants to do, and Derek Carr in New Orleans, that could spice things up and change the top 10 maybe.
So as it stands right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they have the fifth overall pick, and you're hearing a lot of different names, but the name that had always been consistent, at least up to this point, had been that of Mason Graham. And there are those that are here in Jacksonville. There are also others that they look at the tape or they look at his measurables and they don't see it. But there are others that are in a camp that say, don't overthink this situation if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if he's there at 5, should that be the guy in which Jacksonville takes, or are there other names, whether it's defensive tackle or another position group, that you say maybe the arrow points that way for Jacksonville?
Yeah, so for a while now, Jacksonville has felt like a mystery, not just to me, but to a lot of other people I talk. Of course, the teams are also doing their digging, the ones who are picking ahead of them and behind them, and, everyone wanting to know how the board's going to go and stuff. They want to know what the other teams are up to. And so, just in the last week or so, the only other names that I've really heard with any kind of, authority behind it or any kind of sort of substance, I would say, besides Graham to Jacksonville, have been Jalen Walker and Ashton Genty. Those are the two names that I feel like have maybe have a little traction to them. But let's break them down. I mean, Graham, I think, especially with their edge talent, could be a perfect fit inside. You think about how the Rams, obviously with James Gladstone and Liam Combs for a little bit too, how they built their team. Aaron Donald was the centerpiece for years, but when he left, they went on this spree of reloading on the D-line and had, Braden Fisk is a player who I think comps very similarly, even though he was a second-round pick. I think we're talking about, a guy who instantly looked the part last year, and I would think that, they would see Graham as sort of a plus version of that. He's regarded for his work ethic. He's super quick off the ball. He may not have that one superpower, but he's really high-level polished at a lot of things, and I think is going to be a very good pro for a long time. Is he normally in a different cycle? Would he be a top 10 pick guaranteed? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I think you could find some years where he may not necessarily be a top 10 pick. So I can understand some people's hesitancy. I think he's really good, but I understand there's that pizzazz factor that's maybe lacking a little bit, even if he is a penetrator and a free tech who can get in the backfield.
He is an NFL draft analyst on NFL Media. He is Eric Edholm. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Eric_Edholm. When you talk about names that have pizzazz, we'll get to Ashton Genty here in a moment, and you brought that name up, but you also talk about names such as Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter, and it does seem to me that there is this weird world where there are those who feel that one of those two may fall to the 5th pick for Jacksonville. And if that happened, Jacksonville is not walking, they're running the card in to make that pick. I don't believe it. I'm not in the class that those two guys are going to fall out of the top 4. But if one of them were, what would be the reasoning behind that, in your opinion?
Yeah, and eventually this is going to be me dumping some coal on that idea because I really don't see it happening. But I'll present one possibility. Let me just throw it out there as who knows, right? But it's a player that may not exactly fit what the Jaguars did. I mean, Abdul Carter could play for any of the 32 teams, and they'd be happy to have him, right? He's a special prospect. He's my number 1 overall guy. If there's a guy with a chance to slide, and I don't really think it's going to happen, but there's a possibility, here it is that the Giants may be in the same situation. They traded for Brian Burns. They have to make a decision on Kayvon Thibodeau's 5th-year option, but still a fairly recent first-round pick. And maybe they feel like it's excess. And so possibly he could slide. Now, would the Patriots pass on him at 4? Are they so bent on a tackle, or do they worry about Carter's foot? The medical evaluations may have shown something there. It's possible. I haven't heard anything in that. That would be me just sort of throwing some ideas out there,
Right.
but that's probably the one shot of one of those guys falling in this draft.
Now, I think we're on the same path here that neither of those two individuals are going to drop. So let's just say in the world that we're living in right now, Graham is the selection at 5. Once you go to 36, if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, in that second round, what position group or names would you be looking at in the war room? Because parts of me says maybe you go receiver and you get a guy that can help light up the scoreboard with that of a Brian Thomas Jr. Another part says go offensive line because you need to protect Trevor Lawrence. So most important position group wise in your mind once you get to pick number 36 and you're the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I think the two positions you mentioned and cornerback would be another one that I think if there was a high-level performer at corner at 5, they would maybe even consider there. And with Will Johnson not being able to work out, not run a 40, not play a full final season, I don't think he's in the mix at 5. So when you get down to that second-round pick, that's where it kind of gets interesting at all three positions, I think. So offensive line, there could be a fairly decent run in round 1. Maybe there are one or two guys who kind of slip through the cracks. I think Gray Zabel from North Dakota State is probably going to go, if not in the first, then in the first pick or 2 of the second round. Arante Ursary, if you're looking for a tackle, he's an interesting one. I think he's a right tackle, though. I don't know how that would work with Jacksonville's setup. Maybe they're convinced Harrison or somebody could switch, so you never know. There's some decent options there. Trey Amos, if we're looking at cornerbacks, may not be there. There's even been some first-round buzz for him. He's been a fast riser. I mean, he was kind of lost in the shuffle at Alabama, goes to Ole Miss, really performs well, and had a good postseason process as well. So, he's somewhere in that probably 30 to 40 range is where I think he ends up going off the board.
Okay.
And then wide receiver. I mean, look, it could be a smaller, quicker guy like a Jalen Noel, maybe a little high for him. We'll see. Or his more physically blessed teammate, Jaden Higgins, something like that.
Right.
Where does Luther Burden go? Does he slip a couple picks into round 2? That might be a great option. You can get the ball to him in a lot of different ways. So I think those three positions, O-line, corner, and then what was the other one? Receiver. Yeah, would be the ones that make the most sense for that second round.
NFL.com draft analyst Eric Edholm joining us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. So when you now talk about the later rounds, round 3, round 4, round 5, and beyond, are there any names out there for you that you're saying these guys would be good value picks if they're still there when the Jaguars are going to pick in later rounds?
Yeah, and I think what you immediately do is go to the deeper positions, right? And for me, this class offers great depth on the defensive line, both end and tackle. So that's a position, we've seen the Jaguars double dip before. Obviously, I know it's a new regime now, but, you could see something like that happen where maybe you get a D lineman up top with Graham, and then you come back with maybe a pass rusher later or something like that. Same thing at running back. If they're going to consider Ashton Jeanty at 5, they're probably open for business later on as well. They may not be convinced that the in-house options are what they want for this offense. So, obviously there's another ETN in this draft, interestingly enough. But assuming they don't go that route, I'll throw a name out there. Dylan Sampson's a smaller guy and probably not destined for true workhorse type role, but man, for a team that needs a little offensive burst, you turn on Tennessee's tape. I mean, he was, he had a lot to do with all those points they scored, and really good in the red zone, has some receiving ability. He's kind of an interesting one for me. And then the other deep position is tight end too, and that's a spot where what I've noticed is that while everybody kind of recognizes that, the first 5 or 6 guys all kind of universally liked, there's another group of 5 or 6 that there's a wider range of opinions on. And the one that I think I've gotten the widest range on, where he could be a perfect fit in some offenses, not so great in others. Look, with Evan Engram moving on, I like Harold Fannin from Bowling Green. I think he's there's going to be a limit to what he can do in the league. But if you've kind of watched the career path of Jonnu Smith, where pretty much everywhere he's been except for New England, that kind of weird fit there, he really never wasn't used correctly. He's been productive, kind of a running back build at the H-back spot almost. And, just doesn't have these amazing measurables, doesn't have amazing athleticism, but just finds a way to get open and has really natural pass-catching feel and good hands. So, I don't know. That's one where if you tell me he went 86th overall, I wouldn't be shocked. If you told me he went 186th overall, I could sort of believe it. So that's one of those players that for the right team might end up being a steal. For another team, maybe a poor fit.
Now, let's get back into the top 10 because, we've talked about Ashton Jeanty here a little bit, and he had a great article in the Players Tribune before we get to the NFL draft. And we saw what he was able to do last season in college. Just how good do you believe Ashton Jeanty is going to be at the next level?
I think he's going to be exceptional. I mean, I had a big grade on Bijan Robinson, and I think he and Jeanty are the two guys that come closest to Saquon in terms of just NFL projection. In the last what's it been? 8 years, 6, 7, 8 years since Barkley came out. Those are the two guys that I think are in their own kind of tier, just below Barkley. Barkley was a different kind of dude, right? But I would say he's special. He didn't even get to really show his receiving ability, which he did more of in 2023. But he's got the total package. They asked him to pass block a lot on third downs. He handled that. And I think most people have seen him as a runner, the contact balance, the vision, the shiftiness, the toughness on short yardage runs. I mean, he's got the total package. And, in some ways, he's sort of I've heard people say LaDainian is a comp, and I don't, that's a little rich for me. Because, we're talking that's back there.
Right.
But style-wise, it's similar.
Now, for me, I wanted to ask you this. When it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I don't know whether or not it's fair or unfair for a guy like James Gladstone and Liam Cohen being in their first years as a head coach and GM, respectively, but does this draft for them, this first one, is this an important one for them and the Jacksonville Jaguars at large? Is that a fair assessment to make?
Yeah, I mean, I think every general manager wants to put their stamp on their first draft, right? That's their baby. There's going to be a first selection they make. That Graham, Jeanty, Walker debate, I'm sure James has run it through his head 1,000 times, since the combine, and probably will do it another couple hundred times. And just to make sure, are we doing the right thing? Is this a smart play? Is this, and so some GMs in their first draft or some scouting staffs will take a little more of a conservative approach. Let's hit that ground rule double. Let's park it in the fairway. Others are more willing to take a big swing, and it tells us a lot about their style. Now, maybe you buttress that with safer picks later, but I don't know. It's going to be fun to see how they kind of set sail on their voyage here. And obviously you look at Adam Peters and the job he did with the Commanders last year, came in, created competition in a lot of different positions. Yes, Jaden Daniels is the right pick, but I mean, look at the other moves he made too, the foundational pieces. And boy, he's got to feel good about his job security right now.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that first off season for a coaching staff and for a scouting staff can be a huge foundational movement towards where they want to go as a football team, even if it doesn't translate immediately into more wins.
You can follow him on Twitter at Eric_Edholm. He is the draft analyst for NFL Network. Final couple of moments with him. The final guy that I want to ask you about, I understand he's not going to be on the Jacksonville Jaguars unless the Jaguars feel they need another quarterback. But Shedeur Sanders, I mean, I think that if he's placed in the right system, I do think he will be able to succeed. Now, who that team is going to be, we don't know as of yet. I mean, one moment I thought he was going to be in the top 3, and now we're stretching it till he'll be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. But just if he's in the right system, how good do you think he could be?
Yeah, he really is shaping up to be the draft weekend wild card. And I say weekend because, I mean, there's no guarantee he'll be a first-round pick. But, I mean, just from a scouting standpoint, the funniest thing is obviously when you hear the last name and you pop on the tape and when you're first sitting down to watch Shedeur, for me, it was a couple of years ago, but still, I mean, you're kind of expecting a Deion Sanders-like athlete. That's not what he is. Right. He is a little bit small. His arm talent is good, but not great. I wouldn't say he would be in the upper half of NFL quarterbacks in terms of, arm talent. So, but he's tough. He's accurate. He's got some creativity. Sure, he took too many sacks. He's had some damage to him. And not everybody's convinced, There's some doubters out there.
Yeah.
So even with the Pittsburgh situation, the New Orleans situation, the Giants and Browns maybe kind of jockeying for some of these guys too. There's also the fact that Jalen Milroe seems to have gotten a lot more buzz, and Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
So I'm just painting a picture of, look, could he be the second quarterback drafted? He could.
Right.
Could he also be the fourth one drafted? He could. And I really think that's not me trying to create storylines. This is based on, like, when I'm doing scenario stuff with people, agents, scouting folks, other people who know what they're talking about, kind of think that it's got to be the right path. Maybe Pittsburgh is his best landing spot, but there's no guarantees.
Absolutely not. And that's why we always look towards talking with an absolute legend when it comes to the NFL draft, Mr. Eric Edholm. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Eric_Edholm. We will be following his tutelage as well as his analysis on the upcoming NFL draft. Eric, thank you so much again, and hopefully we can do this again sometime down the road just to get your reaction to everything.
You call me a legend, I'll do almost anything you want. My pleasure, dude. Have a great weekend, and enjoy the draft next week.
Absolutely. There he goes, Eric Edholm, NFL Media. What did the Jaguars do at 5? It doesn't really seem as if anybody knows. Does even James Gladstone know? I mean, it's not like they're telling us. I mean, it's not like we have a monopoly on the Jacksonville Jaguars or anything. Our second hour is next. We'll talk about the NBA All-Star Weekend and maybe a change. Just flow with me here. There may be a change to the All-Star Weekend that I would like to make, and it wouldn't involve any of today's current players. Keep it locked right here on Open Gym, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Start your Saturday with a whiff of the great outdoors.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Lagerman, and we bring you the fresh air of the great outdoors.
On the Nimnit Outdoors Show, presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Are you ready for some exciting football action? Your Jacksonville Sharks take on the Massachusetts Pirates Saturday, April 19th. Get family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card, all for only $100. Don't miss the unforgettable Frisbee Dogs and keep an eye out for the Easter Bunny. A fun night for the kids. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. The Jacksonville Sharks are 3-0 and ready to make it 4-0 this weekend as your Jacksonville Sharks take on the Massachusetts Pirates this Saturday. Get our family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card, all for just $100. Don't miss the unforgettable Frisbee Dogs and keep an eye out for the Easter Bunny. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. And go Sharks! Go Sharks!
Share your life with 1010XL. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Oh, wait. I'm going to take a picture and post it on Facebook.
What? Hashtag 1010XL.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or matt-jacksonville.com.
St. Johns County parents, does your kid have energy to burn? Want them to play a sport for their middle school? Sign up today for the St. John's Middle School Athletic Association. Tackle football, dance, and cheerleading. Who doesn't want their kid to be the next NFL quarterback or dance floor diva? You know how fast your kid can go from playing Xbox to practicing their touchdown dance or sideline cheer? Visit sjmsaa.org. sjmsaa.org.
All right, fellas, I got to brag a little. I'm down 40 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss and keeping it off.
That's cute, Matt. I'm down 110 pounds. That's like losing a Backstreet Boy.
Okay, so I'm the rookie here. I just started, but I'm already down 13 pounds, and let me tell you, it feels good to see the results already.
That's the thing, man. Awaken 180 works. No shots, no meds, no gimmicks, just real food, real support, and real results.
The support team is a game changer because we all know it's so easy to get distracted. But with Awaken 180, you get your own coach and a plan that works with your lifestyle.
And free support for life.
Plus, no gym workouts required, which is great because let's be honest, I wasn't running wind sprints either.
25, 40, even 110 pounds. If we all can do it, so can you. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
That's 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
1 hour down, 1 hour to go here on Open Gym, filling in for Rick Ballou for the rest of the week. We're just taking over Hacker's time slot. Thank you guys for taking moments out of your busy schedule, whether you're just getting home or you're going to be burning the midnight oil at work. Thank you for joining myself as well as Dylan Denmark. And Dylan, I did want to get your thoughts, man. I mean, you know, I understand the hype with Jalen Ramsey and him potentially coming back. And we saw from the 6'5", he says maybe Jalen is the one that got away. But you being a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, would you like to see Jalen Ramsey come back with this new iteration and this new regime that we now have here with the Jags?
I wouldn't mind it.
Okay.
I'm not of the opinion that, you know, he left the wrong way and then hell with him. But, you know, I don't care about him for, you know, the rest of his career. If he can help you win, man, you sign him.
Yes.
I don't think that he would be enticed to play here again just because I think he wants to play for a team that's going to be in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And making a run in January, and that don't look like where Jacksonville stands right now.
No.
But if Gladstone and Liam Cohen and Baselli and company think that they can help him win, I'm not against it.
I wouldn't be against it either. No, you know, I'm also just a guy that feels, as you said earlier, I just think he's a guy that wants to win now. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, before we get there, I say 2 years. Give it 2 years. Give it 2 draft cycles. That first year, it's a redemption story. Let's get back to the playoffs. Let's win the division. Second year, now let's see how we stack up against the rest of the league. Against the big dogs, against the elite of the elite. then we can start talking. Jalen Ramsey, I think a team for him is more like the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, I would hate this, but I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Maybe even the Chiefs.
Ugh.
I mean.
But the Kansas City Chiefs, yes. A team that's going to be there in January. Jacksonville, seems like there's a lot that they need to do. And one is making a stable environment for Trevor Lawrence and also seeing what they have with a lot of their young guys to see what they can do via free agency next year. Maybe you make a trade in the middle of the season. It's definitely just too much of a up in the air right now. But I am trusting them. I'm trusting Liam. I'm trusting James Gladstone. They say, oi, we got this. I'm going to trust them. I think the rest of Jacksonville is as well. However, before we get to our next break, I did want to talk about this. We understand that the NBA All-Star game, at least to me, has been that of comical. Last February, I said for myself, this is probably my last time watching it. I just don't think players really take the game seriously anymore. But just because you don't take it serious doesn't mean you can't find unique ways to make the Sunday conclusion of All-Star Weekend fun. And what if we had a one-on-one tournament? Now, there have been guys such as Jaren Jackson Jr. that has said, I would love to have a one-on-one tournament, and he would like to go up against Kyrie Irving. But you know what? I think the current players have had their chance. They had it. Now, I think it's time for the older guard, and not the older guard, but the guys who aren't in the league right now, the guys who have been away from the league for a few years, to now take center stage. Guys like Brandon Jennings, Lou Williams, Marcus Thornton, Pat Beverly, and Paul Pierce. This is Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. He's an NBA champion, Paul Pierce is, as well as KG. Tony Allen was also on the podcast. Paul Pierce says that there's going to be a 1v1 tournament for $100,000. I want in, and let me tell you, Paul Pierce thinks he still got it.
Y'all going to be putting up the 100,000. P. Pierce is going to be in this. I've been working out. I'm ready to go.
30 seconds of calm. Let's just take 30 seconds.
Man, y'all got me
Hey, let's reach out to calm.
Where the rock at?
At the Aztec. I got the Cherokee, North Face. Get money, P. Step back. Yeah. I'm like the IRS. Right.
Looking for us get back.
What else you want?
I mean, get Quentin Richardson out there.
Damn.
Come on, we can get all this. Be good. Let's go. All the former guys that we have battles in the league. Let's get it. Poured out the heat. No. They're my guys. But that'll be a good, start.
No ones, though. Q ain't hooping. Q on the podcast. Shout out to him. Right.
D-Wade.
Ooh, Flash.
D-Wade. That'll be the one right there.
Playing no ball.
D-Wade. He in good shape still.
He ain't coming out there for no 100,000.
Some Richard Jefferson.
Some ISO Joe.
Richard Jefferson. Let's go.
He doing T. He don't want none of that. Nah.
ISO.
Slow down. Slow down. Right. You hear me? I'm over here like, Pete, hold on.
I might not be ready for ISO Joe.
Show down there in the yo.
He still look like he's a game.
Shut the ISO, man. My God, boy. If Meta hit the line, like, what's happening?
Let's go.
I'm with it. Because on top of Paul Pierce wanting in for the 100,000 one-on-one challenge in which they would have, Brandon Jennings and Patrick Beverly have been going back and forth on social media. Brandon Jennings saying, I'm not going to play against someone who didn't average 10 points in the league. Patrick Beverley going right back at him, saying, I averaged more points than you in the playoffs. Let's just do it right now for $100,000. I would like to see just the old guard, old names. I think they would take it serious with money on the line. Now, it's not, the amount of money that these NBA players are asking for to have as a winning purse. If you win the All-Star game, a lot of you guys are already making $100, $200, $300 million. I'm talking about you need extra cash that you're going to give to a charity. Why do I want this more than an All-Star game, though? That's my problem. Why do I want this more than an All-Star game? And if you're the NBA, if there are those who feel like me, who want to see the Unks, as they are now called, the Unks, play a game, maybe, tear a hip, ice on their knees. The game's 2-11, but halftime is like after 5 points because a lot of them are out of shape. Like, imagine if Glenn Rice was in it. If you've seen Glenn Rice recently, or that of Eric Snow. Eric Snow, his nickname should be Snow Cakes because that's what he's eating. Glenn Rice, he's eating a lot of rice. Got a gut on him now. But if you're the NBA, shouldn't you be ashamed of that? Listen, I'm not saying that, old retired guys playing one-on-one would be a bad thing. I think it would be an entertaining thing. I think there could be a place in the All-Star festivities, the All-Star weekend for it. But if I'm saying I want that on a Sunday, instead of the alternative that we have now, shouldn't that be a problem for the NBA? Nearly you have 200-point games in the All-Star game now. No one wants to play defense. And, hey, I'm not saying that the guys in the 90s or the 80s or the 2000s, that they had the greatest All-Star games of all time. They had great moments. Were the All-Star games great from start to finish? No. But Kevin Garnett did say this, that Gary Payton, when he was in Seattle and being named an All-Star year after year, at the half, he would go into the locker room and talk to the guys and say, listen, okay, we gave the fans what they wanted. We gave them the lobs, gave them the dunks. We allowed the East to shoot wide open threes. Now we at the East neck. And it felt like the East was feeling the same way. A lot of these guys are friends now. A lot of these guys, especially in a social media era, they do not want to get embarrassed. Because they'll see it on social media over and over and over and over again. You'll have memes created out of you. It's basketball. All right, it's like that. It's like that line from Paid in Full. Brothers get shot every day. B, you gonna be all right. But to me, it doesn't feel like they aren't going to be okay with that. The All-Star game used to be about sending a message, at least to me. It's really lost its luster. The 309 says, didn't Ice Cube have a 3-on-3 league like that? He does, the big three. Dwight Howard signing with the big three. Kemba Walker also signing with the big three. You can get some names in there like that. Joe Johnson plays in the big three. I would love to see Joe Johnson on a one-on-one competition. The 718, here's where I disagree with you. You say it's going to be a bunch of old Lucas playing. No, it's not. Okay, Jamal Crawford at 40, still giving dudes the business. Making it too easy on these young bloods. Joe Johnson can still get a bucket to this day. It seems to me Brandon Jennings could still get you a bucket. Lou Williams could still get you a bucket. 1-on-1, 5-on-5, probably not. They're not running up and down like that. Wouldn't you love to see Dwayne Wade out there? Let's just say a 5-dribble maximum. It's half court, top of the key, playground style. See Dwayne Wade. Maybe Carmelo Anthony, if Carmelo's still in shape. $100,000, $500,000 on the line. The old Luka playing would probably be that of Paul Pierce. It does seem like, you know, he would have to let go of the alcohol for like a month, 2 months. Let go of the hookah for a month, 2 months. Could he do that? Yeah, I don't know. Like Kevin Garnett said, Quentin Richardson probably wouldn't want to be in it. He's doing podcasts now. He's on ESPN now. Richard Jefferson, ESPN now. But there are a lot of guys. Marcus Thornton says, listen, don't get it twisted. I will give all y'all buckets. I'll give all y'all the business. Just the players who have played in the NBA, they just aren't in the NBA anymore. This isn't 3-on-3, just straight up 1-on-1. I think we could see more competition from those guys than we see from the guys right now. And for me, that is such a problem. That's such a problem. But it would be so good. It would be so good just to see it. Instead of a celebrity game, I don't know these celebrities today. Instead of a celebrity game, let's just have the one-on-one tournament on Friday. Right? It's gotten so bad in the NBA. I love Mac McClung to the death, but I thought it was supposed to be the NBA slam dunk competition. Not we're adding in a G Leaguer. So since we just have mass hysteria when it comes to the All-Star break, let's create more chaos. Let's get the old guys in.
Put Jeff Teague in.
Put Jeff Teague in
Mic'd
there.
up, unfiltered.
Mic'd up. He can tell his stories in between. The old guys have taken over, right? It saddens me even to say this, although I'm slightly serious, but also halfway joking. It's sad, though, that I would rather want to see this in the All-Star game we have now because it doesn't seem like there's a fix. But it does seem like R.J. Saunders has given you one. That's what we do here on the Open Gym when we fill in for Rick Ballou. We talk basketball. We bring it to the table. And we'll continue bringing it to the table right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The action. The motion. You see that acceleration. Feel the active emotion of live play-by-play. It's amazing how much energy on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's summer heat is coming in fast. Is your AC ready to handle it? Or will it quit on you on the hottest day of the year, leaving you sweating and stuck with a huge repair bill? Duck Air Conditioning is here to save the day with a free AC system inspection. Our expert techs will make recommendations to ensure your AC system is running in tip-top shape before the heat arrives. Call now, 904-862-6769. Duck Air Conditioning, duckac.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
You can help Micah's Place support domestic violence victims by playing in the Par for a Purpose golf tournament June 20th at the stunning Golf Club of Amelia Island. Register at micahsplace.org/golf.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at crmjax.org.
If you could benefit from a grief and loss support group, call Haven Hospice at 279-1677.
You have healing power. Even writing a letter or volunteering can help heal a veteran. Find out more at healvets.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com.
Draft season is here, and so is Mia's Mock Draft Mondays. And this year, we're powered by One Night Taco Stand. Each week, I'll unveil a new set of possible targets for the big cats on the 1010XL social channels and 1010XL.com. Let's talk about it on 1010XL.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir.
heareth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Get it? With the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
4! Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
Where is the deepest canyon in the United States?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The deepest canyon in the United States is Hell's Canyon along the Oregon and Idaho border, about 8,000 feet deep at some point. Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet cleaner. You'll get 25% off all cleaning services. That's right, 25% off. Check out 8,000 raving customer reviews if you don't believe me online. Call them, 904-287-5727, or visit their website, ZeroResJacksonville.com. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mosquitoes show up, they are a buzzkill. You want them out of your yard, and fast. At Terminix, they know that mosquitoes bite, but not for long. They'll provide regular treatments to protect you and your family all season long. Go ahead and schedule that picnic, because when mosquitoes show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a mosquito problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
For over 5 decades, a true American band. This is America. Encore Tour 2025, an unforgettable evening with America. April 23rd, Florida Theater. On sale now at FloridaTheater.com. America, live in concert. Produced by Outback Presents.
Are you ready for some exciting football action? Your Jacksonville Sharks take on the Massachusetts Pirates Saturday, April 19th. Get family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card, all for only $100. Don't miss the unforgettable Frisbee Dogs and keep an eye out for the Easter Bunny. A fun night for the kids. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. The Jacksonville Sharks are 3-0 and ready to make it 4-0 this weekend as your Jacksonville Sharks take on the Massachusetts Pirates this Saturday. Get our family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card, all for just $100. Don't miss the unforgettable Frisbee Dogs and keep an eye out for the Easter Bunny. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. And go Sharks! Go Sharks!
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Coming up in about 10 minutes, we will have Dante Marchitelli, host and sideline reporter for the Orlando Magic, previewing the Magic's upcoming series with the Boston Celtics. Should be certainly a good one. We did have a text earlier in the show. Let me see if I can find it here. Just talking about, should we see any fireworks between the sharpshooters of Boston as well as the defense of the Orlando Magic? I do believe that the Orlando Magic this season, this was not a season that they wanted to have in terms of how they got to the NBA playoffs. I do believe that they felt that they were a top 3 seed, assuming health, top 3 or top 4. They were definitely looking to make the next step. To get in the way in which they have, maybe not the way that they wanted to, but it's not a disappointment. And I don't believe whether they had faced Cleveland in the first round or you face who you're facing now in the Boston Celtics, I just don't think that that is a team in the Orlando Magic that Boston or Cleveland is saying that's how we want to start our playoff run against a young, physical, and hungry team who has nothing to lose. Isn't that a scary team to go up against? That has nothing to lose? And you have two, I want to call them superstars by NBA standards. I guess they're saying they're fringe superstars, which I do find baffling and startling to me. But this is a great opportunity going up against the defending champions to now show the rest of the NBA, if you haven't already, that this is a squad that is going to be here for years and years to come. And let me tell you something. Steve Ashburner, who we had on a couple weeks ago here on Open Gym, which is normally on Sundays from 11 to noon, he has Boston in 4. He thinks this is a clean sweep. And I would like to think half of the reason that would be outside looking in, there is trouble when the Orlando Magic aren't hitting their outside shots. They were barely shooting league average this season from downtown. Paolo and Franz are definitely going to need help. Cole Anthony was outstanding off the bench in the play-in game against Atlanta. Anthony Black was great defensively against Trae Young in the play-in game. You had individuals such as Gary Harris and KCP knocking down their shots. Can you also have Caleb Houston knock down a few of his shots? Wendell Carter Jr. he's going to have to be a force on the glass. Also going to have to be able to get him the ball, and he's going to have to be able to be a threat offensively for the Orlando Magic. Because we already understand that Boston's going to do everything they can to take both Franz and Paolo out of the game, mainly Paolo. So my assumption is you're putting Drew Holiday on Paolo Banchero. You'll have Derek White on Franz Wagner. Who's going to be that third guy for the Magic? I say that this series could easily go 6 games. I think you could split the first 4. Boston may take the first 2 at home, or even if you split, if you can win 1 on the road, if you're Orlando, that gives you all the confidence in the world, in my opinion. And for those who are taking notes, Orlando did win the season series this year against the Boston Celtics, went 2-1, I believe, against the Celtics this year. Last season, I don't know if you would have been ready. This season, all things considered, you're not ready just due to injuries. But Paolo Banchero has been on a serious heater, averaging 29 points per game, joining names the likes of Tracy McGrady, and I believe that of Shaquille O'Neal in their first, I believe that was 3 seasons averaging 25 points per game as a member of the Orlando Magic. This is a great young team. What they have to do now is they have to put the rest of the league on notice. You have that opportunity against the defending champions this year. You show that fight. Paolo does what he does. Franz does what he does. And then you go into an offseason that feels a lot like the Jacksonville Jaguars do. It's going to be critical. You need three-point shooting. You're probably going to need an extra scorer. You need an extra playmaker. Now, whether you're going to do that via trade, you hear names such as Trae Young, trade for Trae Young, or trade for LaMelo Ball. What would be the asking price for that? But if you get shooting, Hacker likes Walter Clayton Jr. of the Florida Gators, right? You get that, you get another playmaker, maybe get a starting caliber big to go along with Wendell Carter Jr. if you want Mo Wagner coming off the bench. And maybe you can move Wendell to the 4, maybe. The Orlando Magic, there's no reason why they're not in the mix next year in the East. And we'll certainly ask that to Dante Marchitelli, because I don't want to say it, but maybe this team just has the remnants of the We Believe team in 2007, and they're getting their energy and their confidence at the right time to where maybe, because this isn't going to be easy for the Celtics this year just to waltz their way into the NBA Finals. If Orlando makes it hard on them, dare I say, could they win a first-round matchup? It's wishful thinking, but let's get it from the expert, the Orlando Magic expert, Dante Marchitelli. He joins us next.
Get more Gators with Dan Hickett and me, Frank Frangie, on all things Gators on 1010XL Gators Podcast, with new episodes every Monday, brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, wherever you find podcasts, and at 1010XL.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
E.T. here, and it's time for the Taste of Golf at TPC Sawgrass, April 23rd. Join me for fine cuisine from chefs from the top golf clubs in our area. Craft cocktails, games, and unique auction items will be present. This is one of the most impactful charitable events in our area. Come network with a sophisticated audience who's passionate about golf and its values, while impacting the youth in our community. All proceeds benefit First Tee, North Florida. For tickets, go to tasteofgolf.com. Come on, somebody.
Take Jacksonville with you.
There's no place like home.
Listen to 1010XL Away From Home.
Oh, but anyway, Toto, we're home. Home.
Download the 1010XL and XL 92.5 FM apps for free on Apple and Android devices.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold and silver and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at almost $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Yo, it's your main man E.T. here, and it's time to make those summer break plans. Clay County is calling. From paddleboarding on Doctor's Lake to reeling in the big one on Black Creek or cruising the St. Johns River, there's no better place to dive into warm weather fun. Enjoy live music, local festivals, food trucks, and fireworks lighting up the night. Discover scenic parks, hidden trails, and must-visit local gyms. Your summer adventures start here. Visit exploreclay.com.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging? Spring is here, a time to renew. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist here to help you look and feel your best with minimal to no downtime. Rejuvenate your skin, strengthen your core, and sculpt your body with advanced face and body treatments designed to restore your youthful glow and confidence. Just in time for spring and summer. A healthier, more fit you starts now. Visit dermagnify.com and step into spring looking and feeling your best.
Denny Thompson here. If you haven't heard, Tyson Sound and Security has a house built right inside their showroom, showcasing complete home automation and security systems. You have to see it to believe it. This setup can recognize intruders who approach your door and alerts them to leave if there's a break-in. Keep your family safe with the most state-of-the-art technology. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming Island.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass. He told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better. If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
One of the big takeaways is change can be good. Not all the time do you have to come back to a certain situation. And Jalen Ramsey, I don't think, is the guy that Jacksonville needs right now. Not at this time, right? It's gonna be a string of young guys, both offensively and defensively, for the Jacksonville Jaguars. There will be growing pains, but I think those growing pains are going to be good for the Jacksonville Jaguars. My other takeaway is, if the NBA really wants drama, they have found it when it comes to our first round matchup between the Orlando Magic and the Boston Celtics. And our next guest is not just a friend. He is family to me and this radio station. He does an amazing job with the Orlando Magic, where he serves as the sideline reporter as well as host. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Dante Magic. He's also the host of Magic Insiders on 96.9 The Game in Orlando. He is Dante Marca Telly. Dante, how are you, sir?
RJ, this is a pleasure. It's always great talking to you, my friend, and I'm looking forward to it. We're all excited down here about taking on Boston here in the first round, and always good to talk to you, my friend.
Absolutely. It's always great talking to you as well. And I just want to talk about the play-in game before we get to the Boston series. I got to tell you, I was really pleased with how the Orlando Magic, they were able to handle business in what was a critical game for them to solidify their spot in the NBA playoffs. Defensively, Anthony Black was spectacular. Cole Anthony was dynamic off the bench. Paolo and Franz were Paolo and Franz, and they did what we expected them to do on both sides of the floor that night. Just a great team effort to lock up the 7th seed in the East.
Oh, it was. You're exactly right. We didn't really know what to expect going into it. Orlando's never been in this situation. They've done these play-in scenarios since the bubble, and this was Orlando's first crack at it. For Trae Young, that was his 5th play-in game. He was 3-1 in the play-in going into that game, and he's used to having big games on the big stage. But the Magic game plan was terrific. Just took him out of his game, frustrated him so much that he got thrown out. He got ejected. And literally, as Jake Chapman said on your airwaves, he's taking his ball and he's going home. That's what happened.
Literally did.
Yeah, it's literally what he did. But, Paolo and Franz didn't shoot it great. And what I love about that is, okay, he had an off night offensively. They combined for 30 points. Right. On so many nights when they've had 30 points games by themselves. But Franz had 13 rebounds. Paolo had 9 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, they just did a fantastic job stuffing the stat sheet. And you guys know we're huge Cole Anthony fans down here.
Yes.
I mean, we just think the world of him. And, he's had decent playoff games before, but, never really to that level. And to come through like he did, I mean, he just put this team on his back. But it was so many. I mean, what we talk about all the time is who's going to be the third guy, right? Who's going to be the guy that's going to step up, help Paolo and Franz? And, it was Jalen last year, and who's going to be that guy this year? And there were several. Jonathan Isaac, I thought, turned that game around.
He did.
I thought, right? He came in with his energy. He was blocking shots that lit a fire under Wendell. He came back, and he was doing the same thing. KCP is going to have a lot to say before this is all done. So, it's going to be a monumental task to upset Boston. But I guarantee you, Boston doesn't want Orlando in the first round. I guarantee you that. If you're the defending champs, you kind of want to ease into this thing. And there's no easing in against the Magic. They're going to go up there and give them everything they've got.
To me, and I want to ask you, does it feel to you that there's a sense of confidence back within this team? I mean, I was looking at the bench during the play-in game. You got Mo Wagner. He's there flexing on the bench, encouraging the guys. The entire bench is cheering on the guys on the floor. You had Paolo and Franz and Cole Anthony. They're hyping up the crowd. It just feels like they're getting that joy back that the fans in Orlando and also the fans that we have here in Jacksonville that are Orlando Magic diehards. It just feels like that joy has been slowly creeping up and coming back. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like you, that Boston doesn't want to see a team that now has the confidence in which this Magic team has.
And I hadn't looked at it like that, RJ, but you're exactly right. And I think there was so much of that at the beginning of the year. You won your first 10 home games, and then you struggled to finish with 22 home wins on the season. So think about that. You started 10-0, and then you went 11-19 after that. I mean, it has been a struggle to 12-19 after that. So it was a struggle, but you had a lot of, you caught a lot of teams at the wrong time, and there were a lot of buzzsaws that you ran into. Dealing with injuries, that was such a big thing. But that crowd was electric. It has been electric all year. It's been extra electric down the stretch, and it was huge. And I think the thing that helps too is not only the crowd, not only being re-energized, not only getting that chemistry and that love and that joy back, but kind of getting healthy a little bit. You had a couple of days off to get some rest. Right. And we have been in playoff mode for 2 weeks. And I think that's the big thing. Every single game for this team for the last 2.5 weeks has been a must-win game. And so they have been playing with that type of urgency here the last couple of weeks. And I think that helped them going into that game against Atlanta. But that crowd was fantastic, and it gets us super excited thinking about what it's going to be like for games 3 and 4 coming up next Friday and Sunday at Kia Center. Because, I mean, think about this. I mean, if you can find a way to steal one up there in Boston, and you're a team that's got one of the best winning percentages against Boston the last 3 years in the NBA, right? So can you find a way to steal one? They haven't played in 8 days. It's an afternoon game on Easter Sunday. Can that be the game that you can maybe steal? And then come back to Kia Center where it's going to be absolutely electric. So I truly, truly feel they're going to give Boston all they can handle.
He's the Orlando Magic host as well as sideline reporter. He is Dante Marchitelli. You can follow him on Twitter at Dante Magic. Paolo Banchero, I mean, this guy has been on another level since he's gotten his sea legs back under him after returning from his injury. Is it premature for me to say that he's a top 10, top 12 talent in the NBA when he's healthy and playing the way he's playing?
No, I'm with you. I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, for a stretch there after the All-Star break, he was a top 2 talent It was only Shea Gilgeous-Alexander that was scoring more points per game after the All-Star break for the first month. And then in the 23-24 games since the All-Star break, he finished fourth in scoring. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So, yeah, he's played like a top 5 candidate. He started the year that way, and he finished the year that way. And you're talking over a quarter of the season where he was one of the leading scorers in the NBA. So, yeah, to me, Paolo has arrived. He is here. Yeah, we are present here with him. We are watching this unfold right before our very eyes. And, oh, by the way, there's Franz Wagner, who kept this whole thing afloat when Paolo went down. But you're right. Paolo's the man, and he has figured out how to use his size. He's figured out how to get to his spots. Now, he's just played just over 40 games, and I think that's helped. So he's got fresh legs when everybody else is kind of tired and banged up at the end of the season. So that helps. So good. Use that to your advantage. He missed 34 games with that oblique injury. So he's figured out how to use his size. He's almost unstoppable with that step-back jumper. He gets such elevation. He feels so good, and he feels so strong going into the playoffs. He gets such elevation on that shot. He's improved greatly on the defensive end, and Mom Rhonda, she said you need to rebound more, so that's what he's been doing. That's what he's been doing. He's gone out there and done a better job on the glass. So he does it all, though. And if you double and triple team him like they did with Atlanta, he gets other guys involved. And I think that is so critical for your star player to know, okay, this is my opportunity to take over, and this is when I got to get people involved.
Now, we do understand that the Boston Celtics are probably going to focus a lot of their attention on Paolo Banchero and trying to slow him down. All I can say in response to that is good luck with that if you are the Boston Celtics. But you do mention Franz Wagner, and you can't mention one without the other when you're talking about the Orlando Magic and Paolo Banchero, because Franz Wagner is a special talent in his own right. Just how key is he going to be against the Boston Celtics in this 7-game series?
Well, I think he's huge. And listen, Boston is a terrific defensive team, and they're going to give Orlando fits. And, as good as Orlando is, they're second in defensive rating. Boston's a top 10 defensive team as well. So they're going to be right there. But they don't have a guy like Evan Mobley that Cleveland had last year that just made it so hard on Franz. I mean, they've got great defenders. They've got guys with length. Porzingis is difficult. Tatum. I mean, these guys defend their tails off. But Derek White. But I think it's going to be a different kind of defensive look for him. And he struggled. He struggled with that length. The last game, I think it was, 1 or 2 for 15 as he closed out that Game 7. So I think now he's going to go against a team that's very good defensively, but they're not going to be able to do that to him. So if you're going to double-team Paolo, and if you're going to give him so much attention, then I think Franz is going to have his opportunities, and he needs to. And I think he relishes the opportunity to have a bounce-back series. He's not happy with the way things went in Cleveland. I think he feels, obviously if things had gone better, you pull out that Game 7. But as we all know, you have no shot at even being in a Game 7 if it's not for Franz Wagner in the series that he had last year. The season that he had last year. And you're not here. You missed the playoffs entirely if Franz didn't step up for those months without Paolo Banchero. So, I think he's going to have an opportunity. It's going to be different defensive looks that I'm hoping he'll be able to take advantage of. Porzingis is a rim protector, but other than that, he should be able to get to his spots. I feel like this whole series is going to come down to, can Orlando make shots? You look at the two games with the fewest threes made for the Boston Celtics were against Orlando. They had one game where they made 7 and one game where they made 8. They were only under 10 threes made in the game 3 times, and 2 of them were at the hands of the Magic. I mean, they have the ability to take them out of what they want to do, and that's run them off the three-point line, slow down possessions. They're not going to get as many field goal attempts as they usually get during the year. Now, they're very efficient, and you may limit them to 85 field goal attempts, and they may make 50. They're that good. They're that good. There's no question about it. But they're going to disrupt them a little bit, and depending on what Boston does defensively, Franz absolutely needs to be one of those guys that steps up and has a big series, and I think he will.
He is also the host of Magic Insiders on 96.9 The Game. He is Dante Marchitelli. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Dante Magic. I can't help but think about it, and I was asking Hacker this last week on our Sunday show, that if the Orlando Magic had a clean bill of health, this would be a top 3, top 4 team in the Eastern Conference. I mean, I don't think that I'm off when I say that. How do you kind of assess how the team would have shaped out if they were having a clean bill of health this season?
Well, I think even when they were injured, even with Paolo out, and then even for the first month or so with Franz out, they were angling for a top 5 team in the NBA in the Eastern Conference, which was remarkable. So I think had they been healthy the entire year, it's hard to say. You never know, but it feels like they were headed towards possibly hosting in the first round. Could they have been Indiana? Could they have gotten up to 4, possibly, and be hosting the Milwaukee Bucks? Or, could they have gotten as high as 3? Could they have gotten as high as 3 and found a way to catch the New York Knicks? I certainly don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. 47 wins last year. Could they have won 50 this year? I think they were headed that way if they were able to stay healthy. So, and then, I look at it like this, too. This is a completely different feeling had you won 3 or even 4 more games and got to 6. Had you been able to get to 6, now you're talking about playing the New York Knicks, who, listen, they're obviously incredibly solid as well. And I think they're going to struggle with Detroit. I think Detroit's going to give them more fits than they want. And it might even be one of the biggest upsets of the first round. Hopefully Orlando is one of them as well. But I think they could have gotten to 6 and given New York a run. No question about it. But this is where they're at, and they'll certainly make the most of it. But I'm with you, RJ. I think they were tracking towards certainly getting 4th and possibly even 3rd in the East.
Now, before we let you go, just give us your keys to victory for the Magic to win Game 1 of the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs against the Celtics.
RJ, can we light it up? Can we light it? Can this be the time we finally make some shots around here?
Right.
I think that's what it's got to come down to. You've struggled all year. You've been 30th in offensive rating, 30th in threes made, 30th in three-point percentage. You got to be honest. This was a historically bad three-point shooting team. But since the All-Star break, they've gone up to 20th in offensive rating. So that doesn't sound like much. But for this group to go up 10 spots in offensive rating in 20-plus games is enormous. So they got their confidence back. They got that swagger back that they had at the beginning of the year. They feel like they can hang with anybody, and I think that's huge. So can you make some shots? Can you get back to being a dominant defensive rebounding team? They were the best defensive rebounding team for the first half of the season. Can you get that back? Can you continue to protect the basketball? Corey Joseph doesn't go out there and give you 18 points and 10 assists, but he doesn't turn the basketball over. His first 15 starts, he had 7 combined turnovers, right? Wow. I mean, that's huge. That is huge. So he gets the ball to Paolo and Franz. Can you continue to protect the basketball? Can you run them off the three-point line? They make 17.8 threes a game. Can you run them off the three-point line? Can you limit their possessions? There's a lot of what-ifs. And here's the other thing. You don't want anyone to be injured. You don't want anyone to be hurt. But Porzingis has been in and out of that lineup the entire year. Drew Holiday has been in and out of that lineup the last couple of months. And Jaylen Brown, we know his knee situation, had to get injections the other day. So we hope everybody's healthy because you want to beat them at their best. And certainly play them at their best. But we don't know what their situation looks like or who they're going to have for the entire series as well. So I think they're preparing for everything. Porzingis just adds such a wrinkle to this, the ability to protect the rim but also knock down threes. So I think he's one of the biggest X factors. Derek White, Drew Holiday. They're just so the list goes on and on. They're loaded with talent. Can they flip that proverbial switch? Are they as hungry as they were last year? There's a lot of questions that go into it. But I think Orlando's going to shock them in this first game. I don't think they're excited about the fight that's coming their way starting Sunday.
We here in Northeast Florida are right behind the team in Central Florida, the Orlando Magic, going to be rooting for them heavily in this first round series against the Boston Celtics. We believe, and we also know who else believes, Dante Marchitelli, host and sideline reporter for the Orlando Magic. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Dante Magic. Dante, thank you so much. Safe travels to Boston, and hopefully we come back Game 3 and Game 4, still in one on the road.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Hope to have you guys in the building. We'll provide some ticket giveaways for you guys here during the playoffs. I think that'd be awesome. And if I can make a football request, if you can just make Aaron Rodgers go away, we'd all be happy down here in Central Florida. If you can just find a way for that guy to hang up the cleats and leave us all alone, I would be forever grateful. So see if you can pull that. I'll do my part. I'll go up to Boston and try to get us a win, and you make that happen for us, okay?
We will definitely do so. There he goes,
right,
Dante Marchitelli of the Orlando Magic. That's going to do it for us here on the Superstation. For Dylan Denmark, I'm RJ Saunders. We will talk to you again tomorrow, beginning at